how easy you got it, how easy your life is. First world problems are made up. Open your eyes and wake up. Can you imagine life without having a family or a house? Can you imagine,
Imagine if the cancer took your mother and you had to watch it pass away. Imagine if you didn't have a father there on Father's Day. Imagine living in a box of streets is where you start to stay. You didn't have no family or no money, so you'd starve for days. Imagine that your little sister hates herself, she starts to fade. Afraid of being sober, so she's going through the party phase. Feeling like the fucking drug she's taking is her last escape. She's sick of all the bullying, she starts to use a sharper blade. Imagine fleeing from a country full of war and all the arm it takes. You're smuggled on a raft for days, no airport departure gate. Imagine every time that you embark a plane, because of your religion, people start to text their loved ones and they start to pray. Imagine coming from a fucking home where you just suffocate. Your homophobic father won't accept the fact his son is gay. Imagine your depression just so dark and grey, only showing half your face like you were at a masquerade.
Walking these shoes for a day or two, I bet you can't imagine it, can you? You've never been through what they've been through. I bet you can't imagine. I bet you can't imagine the things they face on a day-to-day. I bet you can't imagine it, can you? I bet you can't imagine. I bet you can't imagine.
Imagine all the billionaires gave away $1 million each. Then all the kids in poverty just may have dinner to eat. They're giving hospitals and doctors help the sick and diseased. They'd get an education, water that they're drinking is clean. Imagine if the politicians weren't all riddled with greed and gave a fuck about the elderly and kids on the street. And we could give you any number of a single release, but couldn't give you any number of the victims deceased. Imagine if equality existed, not a myth in our dreams. My 2 uncles could get married and be living so free. Imagine corporations view that we had limited trees because they chop away their forests so that digits can breathe. Imagine Islam was recognized as a religion of peace and wasn't judged by all that propaganda shit that we read. Imagine if we didn't judge because of different beliefs, cause they're all people, we're all people, there's no difference to me.
Walking these shoes for a day or two, I bet you can't imagine it, can you? You've never been through what they've been through. I bet you can't imagine. I bet you can't imagine the things they face on a day-to-day. I bet you can't imagine it, can you? I bet you can't imagine. I bet you can't imagine.
Look, to open up your eyes and understand your life's a blessing, cause the fact that you're alive today's why we call it the present. So think about your life and try and show a little gratitude. You have a fallback while others begging for a parachute. Look, and I don't even see my father now, but what it taught me was to search for light up in the darkest clouds. And now I grow from the negatives. It taught me how to be fulfilling even when there's emptiness. Some children have to sit there on the sideline, trying to understand why their mommy said bye-bye and their father watched the love up of his life die. But it's so much harder in a house with no Wi-Fi. That's a gratitude our whole generation lacks. Appreciate what you have before it becomes what you have. Everything can change, depends on how you see the picture. Walk a mile in their shoes and you're guaranteed a bliss.
Walking
I'm
these
out.
shoes for a day or two, I bet you can't imagine it, can you? You've never been through what they've been through. I bet you can't imagine. I bet you can't imagine the things they face on a day-to-day. I bet you can't imagine it, can you? I bet you can't imagine. I bet you can't imagine. Walking these shoes for a day or two, I bet you can't imagine it, can you? You've never been through what they've been through. I bet you can't imagine. I bet you can't imagine the things they face on a day-to-day. I bet you can't imagine it, can you? I bet you can't imagine. I bet you can't imagine. I bet you can't imagine.
Every year there are tens of millions of little children who starve to death, hundreds of millions of homeless people, and every year millions and millions of fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters die from cancer, and it's inevitable.